Microphone check 1 2 1 2. This is your host, not son, baby. And this is another episode of Swingers After Dark. I just want to say first and foremost, game has nothing to do with getting pussy. Game is more than trying to get inside a chick's pants, trying to get in her panties. That's the elementary version of game. But game is really knowledge. Knowledge is facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through education and experience. That's what knowledge is. Game is nothing but a generic verb for knowledge. You dig? And game in its totality is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge, like I said, is the information, skills, and facts that you receive. And then once you get knowledge, you should be able to articulate that knowledge through wisdom. Wise words being spoken. You should be able to speak what you know into existence by your words, by your vocab. And then understanding is how you comprehend your knowledge and wisdom. Understand the totality of what you know, what you learn, and what you're telling somebody to get that person to understand. So game is nothing but knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You understand me? And game is not about lying to a broad just to fuck. That's the juvenile version of game. And there's nothing wrong with having game, because in order to survive, you need game. Like in order to get that job, you need game. You feel me? And a lot of people say, well, I don't need game. Listen, if somebody tells you they don't need game, then leave them the fuck alone. Because life itself is a game. You have winners and losers based on your level of success, or based on what you perceive as what makes you successful. But like an example of game is, knowing when to say something and knowing when to not say something. You dig? It's like knowing what to say and what not to say. It's like going to a job interview. You're not going to go to a fucking job interview in your pajamas. You're going to dress accordingly. You understand me? You're going to dress accordingly, and then you're going to present the employer the skills that you have to let them know that you're the best man or woman for the position. And then, game is selling yourself. That's what game is about, is selling yourself without lying. You could be exquisite without making up some bullshit fairy tales about your skills. And that's what game is about. It's about presenting yourself to the point where people believe every word that you say. That's what game is about. To be a politician, you need game. Because you need people to donate. You need to galvanize people to not only believe in your vision, but also donate to your cause. You understand me? So to be a politician, you need game. To be a successful businessman or businesswoman, you need game, because you need to know what the hell you're doing. You understand me? It's like you need to find a lane and capitalize on your lane. Like marijuana dispensaries is the new thing now. It's like people want to grow weed. But I'm not going to go into marijuana dispensary just because it's a lot of money in it. I have no game in it. I don't have the knowledge in it. So if I'm on some shit like, well, I want a podcast, write books, and grow some weed, I'm a fail. Why? Because I have no game. I don't have any knowledge to make my weed dispensary successful, going into the weed business. So I'm going to stay in my lane as a writer and podcaster. Why? Because first of all, this is what I love to do. This is my passion. And I got knowledge and expertise in what the hell I'm saying. And that's what game is about. And, it's about presenting what I know for people to understand my message, or to understand the subject that I bring forth. And you got to realize that not everybody is going to be susceptible to whatever you're bringing forth. You're going to have, people who you attract, and then you're going to repel some people. It's the polar opposites. But for the most part, to get back to the lecture at hand, game is not really, game is not about tricking some broad into fucking you. That's not game. You understand me? Because any dude could get lucky. Any dude could get lucky and get his nut off. Even if he's a lame motherfucker. Like a motherfucking clock, a dead clock is right twice in a day. You feel me? It could be 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. It's still right, even though it's not moving. And I say that to say, when you have game is knowledge of self, and game is to be able to assess a situation and the circumstances that may benefit you and benefit your friends or family. And that's what game is about. To have game is not all about sex. Like, a woman can have game, a man can have game. It's not gender biased. It's not racially biased. It's anybody can have game. Game is pretty much the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you have of a subject. That's what game is about, and using it to your advantage, pretty much. So I just wanted to speak with the family. Like, people think that game is about lying, about deception, but it's about presenting yourself to the masses. You know what I'm saying? It's about getting what you want, but at the same time having, upholding your integrity and your dignity while not losing yourself in the process. And that's what GAME is about. The world is your ATM. The world is your ATM, and your PIN number is GAME. So you have to figure out how you're going to be successful and prosper while you're alive. Because the totality of game is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You understand me? So, game is the totality of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that's all I have to say to the family. Because game is not all about, lying to a chick or lying to some dudes, like scamming. That's some fish market shit. That's some thrift shop shit. You don't have to lie to get what you want. You understand me? You don't. It's about being true to yourself. It's about being true to the circumstances and not putting out a bullshit fairy tale that your ass can't cash because your damn bank account of your credit, of your social credit, is zero. You go to a job interview and you telling your employer that you know this, that, and the third, and then your ass get fired on the first day because you lied. You don't know what the hell you're doing because you have no game. Because you lied. You lied to get that position, and then when it was down to get down to the nitty gritty, it's like you were selling wolf tickets. You know what I'm saying? So to recap, I just want to recap right quick. Game is nothing but knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge is the information, facts, and skills acquired by a person through experience and education. And then you translate your knowledge through wisdom, wise words, the words that you speak, being able to articulate what you know so people could understand where you're coming from. And then understanding is being able to comprehend what you know. Because you could say, well, I read not some book. You have knowledge of my books, of the content of my books. But can you tell me what is the premise of the story? What did you get out from that book? You know what I'm saying? What did you get from the book that I wrote? What did you get from that? And you're supposed to be able to articulate your thoughts from what you know of that book. And then you're articulating your thoughts. You're telling me what you thought of my book, but can you comprehend what you read? Okay, you have knowledge of the book. You told me some parts about the book that you like, but did you comprehend? Because a lot of people could tell you what something is about, but they don't understand them damn selves. They don't understand what the hell they're saying. They just saying words. And your knowledge is incomplete. Your game is incomplete if you're not able to not only articulate your thoughts, but comprehend what the hell you're saying. It's about breaking down what you know, so the next person could understand where you're coming from, even if they disagree what you're saying. You have to be able to articulate and break down whatever you bring forth to the masses. And that's what game is about. You understand me? Game is not only about getting sex. That's that elementary shit. That's that bullshit that they, fake players and max and ballers, whatever the case may be. That's not fucking game. That's game on a surface level. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even call that game. That just on some, I don't know what the fuck that is. Because any dude could fuck a chick. You know what I'm saying? Any dude could get lucky and fuck a chick, but can you get in her mind? Can you understand a woman in her totality and treat her accordingly? That's game. It's knowing the type of woman you're dealing with and to decide whether you want to deal with her or not. And to decide, whether this woman is good for you and your circumstances. You understand? That's game. It's to be able to measure somebody and to see if that person is going to be detrimental to your life. Is that person worth your time? If that person worth your energy, and if that person is worth breaking bread with. That's game. It's to be able to assess and measure a person and a situation that you get yourself in, and hope you don't get yourself in too deep, whether, to the point where you lose your livelihood and worst of all, your life. That's game. That's what game is about. You dig? And I just wanted to break that down to the family. And that's all. I'm mellowed out. It's a nice breeze out. And I just wanted to chill with the fellas and with the ladies. You dig? On this episode of Swingers After Dark. Subscribe to this channel, this YouTube channel. Check me out. Download this episode and other episodes. And check out my website at www.notsunblaze.com. That's www.nahsunblaze.com. And check out my ebook, You, Me, Us, Them, The Swinger Manifesto. Check it out so you could get yourself some game about the swing lifestyle. You dig? And also, shoot me an email at swingpodcast.com. That's swingpodcast at gmail.com. Yes, that's swingpodcast at gmail.com. And hit me up with any questions and or concerns that you may have. You dig? And, just Google me, Arthur Not Son. And on that note, until next time, family, peace. And don't kiss them hoes in the mouth, man.